welcome back. Rarely do I ever give up on anything. It just isn't in my nature. But as far as viewport canvas is concerned, if you don't have a working copy of Photoshop, contact me straight after this. Well, that's me kicking viewport canvas straight into that filing cabinet called bin. Well, what we're going to do then is actually continue, and we're going to start creating our diffuse, bump and specular maps in Photoshop. Well, here we are in Photoshop, and I have our UVW map loaded up. Now I will start by creating a new layer, so up we go, new layer, say OK, then I'll select my paint bucket and just go wham, and it's all white, it's all gone, but don't worry because I'm going to go over to the opacity. I'm actually going to turn this down to, well, about 30%, 32%, something like that. OK, let me just select that tool for a moment. Now Control Alt, and let's zoom in a little bit here now. Now I should state that I always begin with the bump map first, hence the reason for the white layer. And I'd also print out an image of the orthographic views that we have of our Messerschmitt, but I think in this case we'll open one. Okay, let's just move that down out of the road for a moment, and there we go. So we'll start on this side to begin with. Let's close it down a little bit more. And select this now and pop across. Okay, so we know that all our material here is vertically aligned. So what we can do is go for a brush to start with. Now remember, what we're painting on, or what we're going to be painting on, is a white background. We've just got it, we've just reduced the opacity. So we have our brush. I'm just going to make sure that the size is down to 1. That would be white, so I want that reversing. Now that grey is about right for what we want. We don't want it black. If it's black, when we put it in as a bump mat, it comes out very, very deep, very, very strong, and we don't want that. Okay, so let me start. I'm looking at this. There's one about comes round. In fact, it's actually about there. So with this, I'm going to press with my left key, press shift, and actually start drawing it down. The fact that I'm going all the way through isn't an issue. Not yet. Right. So we've got that one there. I'm going to come back over and repeat the process starting from here. So that's that line there. So again, start about there, press shift and bring that down all the way through there and stop about there. Let's have a look. So back up to the top. Well, this is about center section, so yep, there again. Select that, bring that down. Slowly does it. There we go. Right, so what I would do now is subdivide these as we've got into 2 sections, but what I want to show you is line. Now I'm popping up to window, going into brush. Now spacing down here, I want to set that to 486. There it is. Set it to 486, and what that does is actually gives us a dotted line. Let me close that down now. Might even zoom in here a little bit more and go up a touch. Now generally with this, right, we've got the seam and that's what we've just put in, but I want to put the rivets in at the side. So using this hair cursor here, I'm just putting that in that position there, press my left mouse key, now press shift, and I'm going to bring it down, and as you can see there, it's putting in a dotted line at the side of that seam. So I'm going to take this all the way down there like that. There we go. So let's put one in. Let's just try that at the top as well. So just to the left of it here, left click and bring it down. The fact I'm holding shift is stopping it from veering left to right. Okay, and to there. So I'm going to do that with all of these. Well, actually I won't bore you by going through everything. I'll just show you the basics of how to do this. So let's pop up to our fuselage there, and let's have a look. 1, 2. What I'll do is create this now. Now what I like to do with this is actually go into the shape section here, go rounded. That would be boom boom boom, middle, so that would be about here. So quickly drag it out like that. Now you'll see that it's filled it in there. I don't want that to happen, so all I'm going to do is come down here and select that one. Now I prefer this because it gives it that double sort of edge. You'll see what I mean when you start using it, or you see it in the bump map, but it gives it a double edge which kind of makes it look as though it's indented as well. It's a nice effect. So we have that there, and it comes up in its own layer. We don't worry about that. Okay, what else can we create here? Well, we do have these sections here. So we've got one for the top, and it's over there. So let's look for the top, which is here. So that's the top panel there. So let's just put this one in. I'm giving you a rough indication here for these. That's fine there. If we select this now, come across, what else have we got? But we'll work on this side, the left side here. So click again. Right, let me just bring my layers up because I want to go back to layer 1. Move this out of the way. I'm going to go for my paintbrush again. One layer, but this time Windows, brush, let's take the spacing back down to there. Say OK. So what I'm going to do is create this section along here now. So I'm going to pan back a little bit here. Let's just move that up and along here. Brush there, and we're going to start it from there. Left click shift and take that across to roughly, let's have a look, about there. Left click shift down to there. Okay, now I'm going to select an ellipse tool and put that in roughly there. Not in the right position. Okay, press Control and let's take it and place it there. And let me just come up here now. So hopefully now you're getting the general gist. These lines that we're creating don't have to be black. Let's say grey. That's all I need. Let's pop up to this section here. This is our cockpit section there. Let me just make these go 3. Okay, and what I want to do is just put some dots in there. One, put one about there. Couple. Now you can space these out. Take a bit more time. I just want to give you the information on how to do these things. You're probably more conversant with Photoshop than I am. I used to love Photoshop, and then it changed. Say one there, one there. Faffing about too much here. Now, of course, what I would do is go around and create all of this where you can see lines and sections for rivets, put all this in, create that around there. And then what I would do is bring this up, select our image, pop down, hide the background, layer 1, opacity, bring it up to 100%, and as we can see here we've got our dots and other things there and our lines. Then up to layer and flatten image, discard hidden layers, say OK, but then I would say file, save as, and on this one I'm going to call it fuselage UVW bump. Save it as a JPEG, say OK, and OK to that. That's saved that, but then I'd actually go up to edit and step backwards. That way it's unflattened the layers, and I've got my background there then again. So if I needed to work on it, do any more things, then I've got the background. Go up to layer 1, make sure that that is reduced. Okay, right, well, I'm just going to close this down. Let's open up Max, and now popping into our material editor, I would hide this section here, but click down on the bump, close that down. Into standard, I'm looking for a bitmap. I need to come up a layer for mine. Into scenes. Right, and here's one I actually prepared earlier, so let's just bring that in. Now, just make sure that that has been applied. And here we go. And as I said, this is one that I did prepare earlier, and as you can see, they're quite deep. So what we have to do is pop back up to the parent, and we've got it set to 30. Well, this one I know only needs to be about 3. If we go in, have a look, and there we are, and that is our bump map. Have a look around at it, and you will see sections here. Just come out a little bit more. There we go. And that's how this bump map has been created. As simple as that. Well, mindful of the time, we'll continue this in the next session. I'll catch you later.